The Reds dropped points yesterday against Manchester United. In today's video, we will of course discuss the 5 major talking points from the game, whilst also going over some massive Trent Alexander news, and there is another major update. Not only that, but we will also go over all of the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to cover in today's video, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. This video is sponsored by Clothing. Clothing is a Liverpool clothing site owned by match-going fans. Each design is limited edition and is perfect to wear on a match day, on the terraces at Anfield, down your local, or cozy in the comfort of your own home. As stated, each design is limited edition, and if a product is showing out of stock, they will not be restocking the item, so if you have your eye on something, grab it fast. Lastly, Clothing wants fellow Reds to be 100% satisfied with their orders, so if there is a reason you're not happy, they will refund you with no questions asked. Head over to clothing.com or down into the link in the description to get all of your Liverpool merchandise. Anyway, let's get back into today's video. Firstly, Liverpool will be without Darwin Nunez when they travel to Nottingham Forest next week, with the striker suspended after picking up 5 bookings in the Premier League. Nunez was shown a yellow card during Sunday's clash with Man United, meaning the Uruguayan has earned a 1-match suspension for domestic games. His foul on Matthijs de Ligt means he will now sit out of the clash against Nuno Espirito Santo's side next Tuesday night, January 14th, following previous bookings against Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle and Fulham. Those 5 bookings have come in Nunez's last 11 appearances in the league, which could raise a concern for Liverpool head coach Arne Slot. Nunez has been a regular for Slot so far this season, but is yet to hold down a first-choice role, with Diogo Jota and at times Luis Diaz preferred as number 9 heirs. But his absence will still be felt at the City ground, with fewer options for Slot to rotate 4 days before the league trip to Brentford the following Saturday. Nunez was not the only Liverpool player who went into Sunday on 4 yellow cards, with Ryan Gravenberch and Cody Gakpo at risk of suspension. They each knew one more booking against Man United would earn a 1-match ban, after which the threshold is lifted to 10 bookings from matchday 20. Any player booked 10 times in the first 32 games of the season will be banned for 2 fixtures, regardless of whether or not they have already served a ban for 5 cautions. Unlike red cards, a suspension for reaching the yellow card threshold can only be served in the Premier League and not the upcoming domestic cup games. In some massive Trent Alexander-Arnold news, Liverpool are claimed to have offered Trent Alexander-Arnold a significant pay increase in an attempt to tie him down to a new long-term contract. Alexander-Arnold's future is one of the biggest concerns among Liverpool fans at present, with Real Madrid making a bid to sign the right-back this month. While Liverpool turned down their offer, believed to be in the region of £15 million, the reality is that Alexander-Arnold can now legally discuss terms over a free transfer in the summer. That adds pressure to contract talks between the player and his current club, with contact ongoing but no progress made as it stands. However, the Mirror's John Richardson now claims that Liverpool have offered their vice-captain a new 5-year contract worth £300,000 per week. His current wage is said to be around £180,000 per week, and only Mohamed Salah, on a basic £350,000 a week, earns upwards of £300,000 per week at present. It is claimed that Real Madrid would offer similar terms, with it held up as a straight decision between staying at his boyhood club or joining arguably the biggest side outside of England. There have been no demands from Alexander-Arnold to be handed the captaincy, Richardson writes, with Alexander-Arnold said to have accepted he would be the natural successor to Virgil van Dijk. Whether this report is to be believed is unclear, though Liverpool are known to have been in ongoing negotiations with their number 66 and his representatives. However, Arne Slot is certainly still hopeful of retaining his first choice right back, using the example of Steven Gerrard turning down Real to make his point. I think there was one player in the past they would have really loved to have, but he didn't come, he told journalists, including the Liverpool Echo's Theo Squires. You know him better than me, so it has happened. Nevertheless, there remains a real concern that Alexander-Arnold will depart at the end of the season, with Slot purely focused on the now rather than any ifs. These are all if. My answer is that he's with us and his full focus is with us, the head coach explained. This is what you saw in the West Ham game and the games before. He's in almost everyone's team of the year for the first half of the season. That shows how much he's here at the moment. That's the only answer I can give you at the moment because there's no if. As we stated, Liverpool drew the match to Manchester United 2-2. In this part of the video, we will go over the 5 major talking points from the game. Alexis Mac Allister masterclass. There was a lot of talk on Sky Sports commentary about Manchester United's midfield looking half competent for once, but the standout player in the centre of the park was wearing Liverpool red. Alexis Mac Allister was head and shoulders above his teammates and the opposition as he brought some control and quality to what was at times a fairly frantic and scrappy game. There was a first-time pass from the left touchline that opened up the pitch to allow one Liverpool attacking move to take shape, and a first-time shot not too long after that tested Andre Onana. There were a string of similar moments for him throughout the game as he engineered many of Liverpool's most dangerous attacks. The Argentine gets something in the statistics column to show for his performance with an assist for Gakpo's goal, but his general play really stood out. Bruno Fernandes was named man of the match, but Mac Allister was at least as good. Second half surge. Liverpool under Arne Slot have become known for working their way into games, sometimes slowly, and often in the second half after a fairly uneventful first period. At times, this game felt less like Slot's Liverpool, and more like a throwback to some of the chaos of the Jurgen Klopp era. Players were sprinting upfield to attack, and sprinting back to defend shortly after. But Liverpool were world class for plenty of that era, so can still be effective in such situations. At times, that was the case here. Gakpo was first up, sitting down Matthijs de Ligt, then firing his shot home in a typically emphatic fashion. De Ligt was involved again as he handled the ball to concede a penalty, and Mo Salah stepped up to just about convert as Andre Onana went the right way and perhaps should have saved. Trent absent. Sometimes there has been an unfair focus on Trent Alexander-Arnold's defensive play, which has actually been decent this season, but there was fair criticism of the Liverpool right-back in this game. The easiest, almost cliched explanation is that with interest from Real Madrid and a contract expiring at the end of the season, his mind was elsewhere, but sometimes a game just doesn't suit him defensively, and this was one of them. In the first half, it appeared Man United were targeting the area behind Alexander-Arnold and between him and centre-back Ibrahima Konate, who didn't look match sharp. For United's first goal, Diogo Dalot had sprinted past him, and then on receiving the ball as Liverpool looked to play out, Trent passed it straight to a United player. For the second, he and Konate had been dragged out of position. Trent was eventually replaced by Conor Bradley, but this should have been done earlier in the second half. Meanwhile, Andy Robertson might be glad Trent takes the limelight in this regard as he wasn't much better on the other side. A point might be okay. This was a typical derby in that Man United looked much better than they have done all season, turning up for this big rivalry match in what was their most convincing performance under Ruben Amorim, even though they have won in some other matches. The stats show Liverpool had the better of the XG, but United missed 2 of the 3 big chances they created, and could easily have snatched the win late on had Harry Maguire not booted the ball over the bar. Alisson was forced to make a couple of really good key saves to help his side stay at least level. Taking a point from such a game, when it could easily have been none, isn't too bad for Liverpool given the circumstances. But when this happens, it is important that the next game is a win, and that next game is against the only team to have defeated Liverpool this season, Nottingham Forest. Cup consolidation. After the breathlessness of this rivalry, there could be more in store in a midweek game against the Premier League's troubled entertainers Tottenham. The 2-legged tie might make for a different dynamic, but given the way Slot has approached the Champions League, he might be looking to get this game won in the first leg. An FA Cup tie against Accrington Stanley follows next weekend, and these 2 games should help Slot consolidate his squad as some players return from injury. With Conor Bradley and Konate both back, and Dominic Szoboszlai only out due to illness, Joe Gomez is the only injured player in the squad currently. Slot should use these cup games to build match fitness for those that need it, while also keeping his star players sharp, something the new manager and his staff have been good at since arriving. That brings us to the end of today's video. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed it, please do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more daily Liverpool content. Thank you.